Hello everyone. So today in this podcast we are going to explore the topic of mental health in India, and over the last few decades we've seen an increase in the number of mental disorders, with an estimated 200 million people in India who are suffering in various forms. So recently a survey found that young corporate employees under the age of 25, a large percentage of them reported experiencing anxiety, up to 90%. And over time, this is turning into a silent killer, which is also increasing the suicide rate among the young generation. Hello everyone, I'm Nirmal Narayan, and today I'm with my friend, my childhood friend from school, Nelson Moses. And today we'll be debuting our new podcast series, which is called as Under the Hood. So why under the hood? So since I'm in the automobile field, if a car comes to me with some issues, so I can do a physical and a visual inspection, and if required I can plug in a scanner which is going to scan the car and tell me what the problem is, and we can solve the issue. But when it comes to our mental health, so we have very little or no understanding of the topics involved. So Nelson is going to help us deep dive into this through our regular podcast.
Thank you, Nirmal. It's a pleasure to be on your show, Under the Hood, and I'm proud to be the first guest for the show.
So Nelson is the founder of Suicide Prevention India Foundation, and he has also set up his new venture now, which is called Brightn. And Brightn is India's first mental health and neurodiversity-themed clothing and accessories brand. So today we'll be kicking things off with our mental health hygiene guide for 2025. So like we maintain our cars, we give it a regular wash. We also take it for a service. We fill up the air in the tires. We check the wheel balancing and the alignment. We also take it for a regular service. And we do a general checkup, a walk around of it to understand how everything is going on. So this is going to be a guide which is going to be a yearly theme, which is going to be broken down into a monthly topic with daily action points also. And in the end, it's going to be taking small steps to having much better mental health. So when it comes to our physical health, it is easy to measure. So if we have a fever, we can use a thermometer. If we are feeling that we have high blood pressure or low blood pressure, we can always measure it with a BP machine. So recently, I was recovering from typhoid, and with my experience, so I went to the hospital and I met the doctor, and they checked my vital signs. Plus, they did a blood test of mine, and then they could isolate what the problem is. And then I went through a course of treatment. But when it comes to our mental health, so what is mental health? How do we measure it? How do we assess it? And what can we actually do to understand our current situation, and how do we proceed further?
Nirmal, great question. I think that this is something that everybody should know. First up, most people think that mental health is mental illness,
Yes.
right? Now, mental health is something that we all have. You have mental health right now, I have mental health right now. Except that mental health can be measured in terms of a continuum, right? It moves from you being healthy to you being in a crisis mode. And in between, you can be healthy, you could be reactive, you could be injured, or you could be ill. So, unfortunately, what happens is a lot of people equate mental health with mental illness,
Yes.
and mostly they will only address it when there is a crisis. There is no preventive way of dealing with mental health.
What factors affect the mental health? And is there anything that you can tell us about whether it's internal factors or external factors? And what kind of impact do they have on us?
So, mental health is a combination of many factors. It's the environment, it's lifestyle, it's genetics, it's biology, it's our childhood experiences. So, it's a combination of many factors. And the complex interplay of all of these factors will impact our mental health. So, whether we are mentally healthy or we are mentally ill depends on all of these factors. And at any point in time, like I mentioned, we could be at any, in different parts of the continuum. And each of these things, whether you're healthy, there are a set of actions that we need to do to maintain yourself. And if you are being reactive or injured or mentally ill, then there's a way to measure and to address it so that we can now move back into being mentally healthy. So all of these factors play a big role. So we cannot definitely say that this is the most important factor that plays a role, because at any point in time, any of these factors can influence and make us, mentally reactive, injured, or ill.
So you also mentioned about lifestyle being a factor in your mental health also. So in the recent past, in the past few weeks, we've heard of some untimely deaths of startup founders like Epigamia and Tablespace, who passed away due to cardiac events in their 40s.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So could stress be, the workplace stress, could it be creating a factor? And also now we're hearing this huge debate about working 70 hours a week or 90 hours a week. And also, do you suggest, staring at your wife? Would that help us de-stress?
Okay, so I can't speak for everyone, and yeah, I'm glad you mentioned lifestyle. In modern day, lifestyle plays a huge role in both physical and in mental health. So chronic stress could lead to all kinds of other issues, which could include a high BP or cardiovascular disease or even diabetes. And stress could lead us to even maybe use negative coping mechanisms like drinking alcohol, alcohol or drugs or smoking. So yes, lifestyle plays a huge role. Stress can lead you to not be able to sleep, and sleep circadian disruptions are related to all kinds of other problems. So all of these play a big role, and yes, lifestyle plays a big role. What you eat, how much are you sleeping, are you exercising or not, are you consuming drugs, alcohol, or smoking? So all of this plays a big role. And about this thing about 70 hours or 90 hours, yes, absolutely. I think that there is a reason as to why there's a work-life balance, and it's absolutely necessary. Just like we are talking about under the hood, you cannot be putting the car under undue pressure by just like driving it all the time. You have to bring it to a rest and then service it so that it's performing optimally. It's the same way with our brain and with our bodies, that we need the rest. So lifestyle, yes, we live in modern day where we have to hustle, we have to work hard, but it's also about quality over quantity, and there should be rest times so that we can be performing optimally.
So we need to have a work-life balance. So nothing in moderation or nothing in excess.
Absolutely. I think different people will need different kinds of breaks. However, for most of us, without being able to sleep or being able to eat the right kind of food or taking time to be with our loved ones, whether you want to stare at your wife or the kids or at your dog or at nature, it is important that we take these breaks so that we get rest and we are nourished and we get adequate sleep so that we are able to perform better.
So we all know about physical hygiene. So for example, today morning I got up, I had a shower, I brushed my teeth, I had my daily shave. So also, but we want to know, what is this mental hygiene all about, and why is it so important? Why do we need to do it, and do we need to do it at all? And on the same topic, can you just explain to me this bright and colorful T-shirt that you made for us today?
Let us show the viewers.
Yes. So I see a brain over here, which is actually looking very happy at having a shower, and enjoying itself. So can you tell me more about this?
Right. Okay. So I'm glad you asked. See, like you mentioned, every day you wake up and you have a shower and you shave. We go to the toilet, and then whatever we've eaten, gets completely eliminated. But the brain is processing a lot of things. It is processing your daily interactions, the stresses, and it's trying to cope with that. And sleep is essential because the brain actually processes emotions and flushes out toxins during this time. It's literally like a brain wash.
Oh.
However, there are when it comes to mental health, there is no process of being able to address it like the way we address it with physical hygiene, right? Physical hygiene is also about, you know, we are having a cup of coffee and some, you know, hot chocolate. We've just had lunch. So, but the same thing we don't do with mental hygiene. However, the brain that you see over here is kind of demonstrating that with daily actions, which could be as simple as 5 to 30 minutes, we can keep the brain humming and happy. So our brain health can be much better. So just like, think about it this way. The quality of our life is the quality of our relationships. And a quality of our relationships is mostly based on our ability to be aware of our own emotions, to be able to express our feelings and emotions, to be able to manage our mood, and also to be able to communicate to the other person about how we are feeling, and to be able to also process what the other person is feeling. Think about, you know, the most important people in your life, like, you know, your wife and your kids. If you are unable to understand how are they feeling, or unable to express what is it that you are feeling, you are unable to deal with that. So for us to be able to function optimally, mental hygiene is very important. Getting a good night's sleep, having good gut health,
Yes.
to be able to be emotionally regulated. It's a difference between losing your head in Bangalore traffic
Correct.
and having a road rage episode,
Yes.
or getting angry with a customer, or getting angry with a relative or a friend, and losing a relationship. So the same, that is what mental hygiene is. It's a concept that is proven scientifically to make a difference to us mentally, and which affects all other aspects of our life. It's like we spoke about the fact that mental health is poorly understood.
Yes.
We can make a huge difference to small daily actions that we can do on the daily.